welcome back to my channel. My name is Carol and you're watching Journal Eclectic. So today I'm working on the prompt number 12, which is shadows. And before I start on that, I'd like to invite you to join us in this month-long collaboration co-hosted by Sandra from Bee Happy Stationery and Lindsey from the Vintage Button, with the main feature kit Winter Woodland that has been made in collaboration with Crafting Dragon Design and Bee Happy Stationery. In the description, you'll find a discount for at Bee Happy Stationery. It's 50% to buy the kit, and Crafting Dragon Design is a 40% of the Etsy shop. So in the links you'll also find all the Facebook groups and the people that also participate. So day 12 is shadows, and I chose the pictures with the trees because I felt like they were perfect in a way as a metaphor for shadows. So trees always cast a shadow on the ground. Sometimes if you look up, they cast shadows on the sun. And I think it's important in design to appreciate the shadows, because without them you can't see the depth of the underlying designs. And it's important, just the fact that I'm inking these papers, suddenly this shadow actually brings these paper their individuality, and it helps to see them a lot better than if they weren't. And in crafting, we do that by stacking things one on top of the other, and we also do that by making sure that we have different colors. So one is light, one is medium in value, and the other is actually very dark, and all of that helps us see the depth of the design. Now my thing is with the shadows, it's not that I don't like them, is that I think it's essential for self-improvement to actually look at the shadows, and instead of being just scared of the shadows, to embrace them. What I mean by that is, a lot of time, at least in my world, the one where we have our families and we have the people around us judging and evaluating our personalities and everything, we always fear that we are more shadow than light. And most of the time you can't be one or the other. You have to have both in order to be able to appreciate the other. For example, you can't just be generous. If you're just generous, then you are going to be taken advantage of. Like it happens a lot to people that are too generous. And then you become not angry, but you become very bitter about it. And then there's always the way that people see being a little more mindful about ourselves, and they think that we are full of vanities, like we don't care about others because we care more about ourselves. So I think that it is important to appreciate the layers of being in the shadow. So when you actually appreciate your shadows, you understand that when you say no, it's not because you're mean, it's because you have your boundaries, and you know when it's time to make it about yourself and not others. And it's very important. Uh, in my life, most people will go like, you know, you're not. If you so much have a fault, you know, like not a quality, then suddenly you're not worth it. Like you should never have a fault. You should never have something wrong with you, or you know, something different. But there it is. When you stop thinking that the shadow is bad, then you can start appreciating what it brings you. So, for example, um, when you stop being scared of having a shadow, you stop really being scared of the way people look at you whenever you make a decision that's not um, theirs, basically, that they weren't expecting that from you, and they might feel deceived. They might feel like, well, that's not who you usually are. And honestly, it has to make sense to you first. Shadows, you know, you make them, they make they usually make who you are a lot more than the qualities we can see uh, outside a person's life. So I think shadows, just like in the designs, they really help to find the focus. The focus of our lives, of our identities, of what we like, really like. You know, by extension, when you say most people in life don't know what they really, really like. Most people in life know, and I'm in that boat. Know what they don't like. We don't like that. We don't like this. We don't like doing this. We don't like feeling like this. But in the end, the shadows are the ones that will help find what exactly it is that we don't like. And in opposite, let's say you don't like going outside. Maybe you don't like going outside because you don't like the way that people judge you when you go outside. Maybe you don't feel you look good enough, or that you have, I don't know, that you look good or not, or dressed properly or not. So sometimes this is about a lot more exactly the way people view us instead of ourselves. And when it's something like that that is outside of us, I don't think that it should stay like that. You don't like to go outside because you're scared of going outside because you were attacked or something, then that's another issue. But most of the time I feel like people don't like doing one thing because they fear the look of others. They fear to not be good enough to go somewhere, to do something. So every shadow really tells us something about ourselves, and well, it's basically our responsibility to actually know what that means. If one thing 2020 taught me is how certain things trigger me, and it really helped me to stay calm and focus on not being easily triggered anymore. So it's really important to be able to, make sense of those triggers and make sense of the way the shadows work, so you can actually balance them with the qualities. You can't just be generous, an absolute generous person, if you're not a little bit selfish. Because, for instance, you can be a very generous person that will give time and to others that are in need, but in the end you do it for yourself, so it's a bit selfish. It's not selfish in the way that I'm gonna take everything for myself and not give anything. No, it's a selfish, it has a little bit of the selfishness because it really makes you happy to do this for others, which is why sometimes this is actually a problem, because especially when you want to help somebody that has limitations, then you tend to do too much for them. And they kind of like, I can do this, let me do it. And then they get angry at you because you want to help too much. So the shadows, yes. The shadows, I think they are important. In fact, they are vital to this world. They are vital to your life. And you should really embrace them, especially as we get older, because they are they're really going to shape you in a way that you won't believe. And it's really not going to be scary. It's really going to be something that you simply realize that needs sometimes a bit more balance. You need to, at some point, just take care of yourself and let generosity go away. It could be as anything else, like perfection. Perfection is a quality, but it's also quite a fault to people, because once they are too perfect in something, they can't let it go. They can't finish it. They can't say, okay, this is good, I can live with this. So you have to make these the balance and make them go in the middle. And then sometimes, yes, they need to be very specific, they need to be very precise, but other times, yeah, they can just be like this, they can just be like torn paper and a bit of chaos. So this is my take on the shadows. If you have any shadows that you want to share or examples of them, please comment below. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave that comment, don't forget to like, and most of all, don't forget to go in the description box to get your discount, to participate in the Facebook groups, and to discover all the YouTube participants from the Junk Journal January UK. So thank you. Bye.